Good morning and welcome. We are glad you are joining us today. Today is Tuesday, August 4th, 2026, and we are here for our 9 a.m. Administrative Matters meeting for the Board of County Commissioners of Larimer County. We are here in the hearing room at the Administrative Services Building for Larimer County in Fort Collins. I call this meeting to order, and I welcome you to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Stand or join us as you are able.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for joining us for the Pledge of Allegiance, and good morning again. I'm Larimer County Commissioner Jody Shad-McNally, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners. I welcome you to our meeting this morning. At the dais, I'm joined by Commissioner Stevens and Commissioner John Kafalis. Also joining us today, and a very important part of our meeting, is the clerk to the board, and today we have Deidre O'Neill. Good morning, Deidre. Great to see you. We also have our County Manager, Lorenda Volker. Good morning, Lorenda. We have Tom Clayton from our Public Information Office. Good morning, Tom. And we have Sarah Martin from the Commissioner's Office, who is here to help us with some of the reading of the schedule and other things for the meeting, and does a lot of great work for us to support the Board of County Commissioners. So now we'll move on to public comment. I don't see anyone signed up. Sarah, is there anyone that has said anything online?
No, Commissioner.
Great. I will also ask if there's anyone in the room that wishes to make public comment at this time. You would get 3 minutes. Okay, we'll close public comment. Thank you so much. And now we'll move on to approval of the minutes. I'll see if the other commissioners have any additions or changes. So Commissioner Kafalis, would you please make that motion?
I move to approve the minutes for the week of July 27, 2026.
Thank you. Any further deliberation? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes, aye. That's 3-0. And now we'll move on to the upcoming schedule. Sarah, if you would please read through the schedule. Thank you.
This is the Commissioner schedule for August 10th through the 16th, 2026. On Monday, August 10th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., Commissioner Shaddock-McNally may attend the Behavioral Health Policy Council meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at 2260 West Trilby Road in Fort Collins or virtually via Zoom. From 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., there will be a work session regarding the Human and Economic Health Service area in the Commissioner's Conference Room on the second floor. From 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., Commissioner Shaddock-McNally may participate in the virtual Forest Health Council Leveraging Resources Committee meeting. From 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., there will be a work session with Leslie Ellis, Director of Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources in the Commissioner's Conference Room on the second floor. From 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., there will be land use items with the Development Review Team. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be in the hearing room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. On Tuesday, August 11th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be an Administrative Matters meeting in the hearing room on the first floor. From 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., Commissioner Shaddock-McNally may participate in the virtual Colorado Whole Blood Coalition Advisory Committee meeting. From 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m., there will be administrative direction to county management in the Sprague Lake Conference Room on the second floor. From 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., Commissioner Shaddock-McNally may participate in the virtual Mountain Pine Beetle Working Group meeting. From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Environmental and Science Advisory Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be in the Carter Lake Conference Room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. On Wednesday, August 12th, from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Workforce Development Board meeting at the Ames Community College Welcome Center at 4901 West 20th Street in Greeley. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Colorado Counties, Inc. Board Budget meeting at 1120 Lincoln Street in Denver. From 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., Commissioner Shaddock-McNally may participate in the virtual National Association of Counties Rural Action Caucus meeting. From 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., there will be a Board of Social Services meeting in the Commissioner's Conference Room on the second floor. From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., there will be a Commissioner/Planning Commission work session. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be in the Carter Lake Conference Room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. On Thursday, August 13th, from 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Fort Collins Downtown Development Authority Board of Directors meeting at the Rocky Mountain Innisphere at 320 East Vine Drive in Fort Collins. From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Energy Resource Center tour at 320 Gateway Drive in Berthoud. From 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Sunrise Community Health Clinic tour at 201 West 69th Court in Loveland. On Friday, August 14th, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Crawford Child Advocacy Center tour at 5529 South Timberline Road in Fort Collins. From 1 p.m. to 2:50 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis may participate in the virtual implementation work group meeting. On Saturday, August 15th, from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis will host a community conversation for the LaPorte community. The guest will be the Larimer County Sheriff, John Fayen, who will discuss public safety and flock cameras. This will be at the Poudre Fire Authority Station 7 at 3016 West County Road 54G in LaPorte. From 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may attend the Larimer County Farmers Market 50th Anniversary Celebration at 200 West Oak Street in Fort Collins. From 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may attend the Community Impact Center Block Party event at 525 West Oak Street in Fort Collins. And on Saturday, August 16th, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the 4th Annual Turkish Festival at City Park at 1500 West Mulberry Street in Fort Collins.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. Commissioner Stevens, do you have any additions or changes?
I do not. Thank you.
Commissioner Kafalis, do you have any additions or changes?
Nor do I. It sounds good to me.
Great, I do have additions. Sarah, I'd like to make sure on Thursday, August 13th, that we need to add, I am going to be attending the Office on Aging Advisory Council, probably virtually, depends on where the meeting is. And then on Sunday, August 16th, I forgot to put that on my calendar, I have also been invited and plan on attending the Turkish Festival at 12 o'clock. And then there's a potential, there might be a ribbon cutting for the carousel in Estes Park in the afternoon. I think it's 3 o'clock, but I have to confirm that date, but that would be in Marine Avenue, so at the chocolate factory. So just want to put that hold there. Thank you. Okay, that's all I had. Now we'll move on to the next item agenda. Let's see, we have the consent agenda, and the consent agenda consists of no perceived controversy or routine administrative actions such as abatements, agreements, deeds, final plats, liquor license, resolutions, and other matters previously reviewed by the Board of County Commissioners. Staff recommends approval of the consent agenda, and a commissioner may request that an item be pulled off the agenda and considered separately. Items that are considered separately will be considered separately, and those that are pulled will be considered after the board takes action on the remainder of the agenda. I will now read from the consent agenda for today, Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. I'm going to read at a high level. If you are interested in more of the details of these items, you can go to our Board of County Commissioners website, where all of our agendas and meeting minutes, emails, videos of our meetings, and more details on this consent agenda are available. It's a great source of information. So I'm going to now read through this consent agenda. We have, first is the items for abatements. The first item is actually vacating the July 7th, 2026 decision for a petition for abatement or refund of taxes. And that's the first one. And the rest, we have 34 then petition for abatement or refund of taxes for year 2024 or year 2025 for the other 34 items. I will not read through all 34 items. You can find those information on the website. Next section is we have two agreements. The first is an AIA document, A104-20 2017 for CM1, the Ranch Marquee. And this is a construction contract for the fabrication and installation of the I-25 marquee sign. And this is going to the term for August 4th, 2026 through June of 2027. And this is between the Board of County Commissioners and YESCO LLC. The next item in the agreements is a tenant estoppel agreement with our facilities department and ownership change stating lease terms are current, and that is our lease ends on September 30th, 2027, and that's between West Hampton Investors LLC and ZS Capital LLC and the Board of County Commissioners. Next, we have two liquor license. The first is liquor license renewal for Ellis Ranch Incorporated, and this is for a tavern type license, and this is for the Ellis Ranch Event Center and Wedding Park. The next is we have findings in order, and this is through the County Attorney's Office, and this is River Song Incorporated doing business as River Song Retreat, and this is for a hotel and restaurant license, and that is for in Estes Park. Next, we have the miscellaneous items, which is a stipulation for PPHC Loveland LLC for the tax year 2025. And we have another two of those items for other stipulations for tax years, and you can, again, go online to learn more about that. Then we have resolutions. We have a findings of resolution approving the YMCA of Rockies appeal, and this is an appeal to Article 7 of the Land Use Code regarding special event requirements to allow more than 3 events in a calendar year and to allow more than one event per calendar month. This public hearing was scheduled for June 8th, 2026. This next is a resolution adopting the Larimer County legislative rezoning from open to natural resources on multiple publicly owned properties being utilized for open space and held for conservation purposes. And this was submitted by our development department. And this is a petition to change those zonings from O to natural resources on multiple properties. And this item was the public hearing held on November 6th, 2025. So that is all that is on our agenda, consent agenda. Commissioners, do you have items you wish to pull? Commissioner Gonzalez? Okay. Then I would ask Commissioner Stevens to please make that motion.
Yes, Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda for August 4th, 2026.
Any further deliberation? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, passes 3-0. I don't believe we have any commissioner guests today. Is that, commissioners?
No, I did not.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lafferty. So now we'll move on to our discussion items. And the first is, and I wore my farmer's market shirt today, so I'll show you, see? And I got my CSU button on. So I wanted to, we're going to celebrate something very important today. We have the Larimer County Farmers Market Week of 2026 proclamation. And this is an item that we're going to celebrate, and I think they're going to share. I want to just say it too. We're celebrating 50 years of the farmers market. That's pretty exciting, just like we were celebrating 75 years of the Queens program and our 165th year as Larimer County, because we're older than the state, and 150 for our state and 250 for our nation. So it's a year of some big birthdays. I think that's pretty exciting. So I guess I will welcome you all, but I think that Andy, or it's not Andy, then who is it? Is it going to be you, Carrie? Okay, Maggie, come on up. We're glad to see you. Introduce yourself and let's do this. We'll have a photo at the end.
Hello, morning. My name is Maggie Switzer, and I'm the Farmers Market and Food Systems Coordinator for Larimer County Extension. And thank you for celebrating National Farmers Market Week. On behalf of the Larimer County Farmers Market, I want to thank the Larimer County Board of County Commissioners and the broader Larimer County community for their support of the Larimer County Farmers Market. The Larimer County Farmers Market is proud to celebrate its 50th anniversary this year. The market is not only an essential place for local producers and food entrepreneurs to sustain their businesses, it is an essential community cornerstone for Larimer County. For 50 years, the farmers market has been a community gathering place where neighbors can support neighbors and celebrate locally produced food and goods. In 1976, the LCFM was founded by the Larimer County Master Gardeners. who remain an integral part of the market today. The Master Gardeners represent the best values of Larimer County: commitment to community, stewardship, collaboration, and education. We are proud to work alongside them at the Farmers Market. Thank you for your support of not just the Larimer County Farmers Market, but all the farmers markets in Larimer County. We are proud to be an essential part of a community ecosystem, bringing together local producers, food access programs, education, and sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Don't go anywhere. We might have questions and some comments, so we'll let you stay there. We'll start with Commissioner Kafalis.
Well, I don't have questions. I just a lot of gratitude for the Larimer County Farmers Market and all of the farmers markets that help to strengthen our local food system. I think we're making great progress on consuming more of what is locally produced. I think credit to the team and interns and all sorts of folks that do an amazing job. I understand you get there at 5 a.m. in the morning on Saturdays or earlier perhaps to set up a few tents and all the rest of it. It's just a great energy to be there. It's when I can go, it's one of the more fun activities. Run into all sorts of folks, buy a few things, and hear a little bit of music, build community, see bubbles floating around. Story time is always the best thing, perhaps. So thank you very much. Look forward to the 50th anniversary celebration, and thanks to the Master Gardeners, and maybe someday I'll be a Master Gardener, certified. Thank you.
Commissioner Stevens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks, Maggie, and all for being here. Really appreciate the work that you do. Can you just share a little bit about how you get food out into the community? I think some of those stories are really great, and so if you could just share just a little bit about how you get it out beyond the people who can come in to get the food.
Well, we have a number of food access programs taking place at the farmers market. And then beyond the farmers markets, we have a number of other local food programs. Every year we do an annual Farm to Local Biz networking event where we invite local businesses to network with local producers, so farmers and ranchers. And we've really increased the purchasing of local food from businesses such as restaurants, schools, cafes, other retailers in town through these events and other kind of local food connection efforts, which we're really proud of. In years past, we've done a number of food rescue programs where we've partnered with the Larimer County Food Bank and the NOCO Food Shed Project, and then brought unsold produce to the food bank for Larimer County from the farmers market. So that just furthers food access for folks that can't make it to the farmers markets or are unable to purchase there. So there's just a number of ways that we're trying to increase food that is consumed. We all eat food 3 times a day, usually me more often. And so it's one of the biggest decisions that you're making throughout your day. So we always want it to be local. And so we're steadily moving the needle on our local food purchased and consumed in Larimer County.
That's really great news. And just the way that you're able to get food out to people who are in need. And I know with SNAP benefits being uncertain for some folks, and some folks honestly losing their food benefits, it becomes more important than ever that we're a partner in that, and especially getting fresh food and healthy food out to folks. Really, really great work. So thank you very much for that. And just want to say, I agree with Commissioner Kafalis. It is the place to be at this point on Saturday morning. So much so that it feels like even more crowded than it's ever been. And I don't know if you have any sense of the numbers, if that rings true, but
we attract about 3,000 people per week.
It feels like that, that's great. It is a fun atmosphere. Not only is it, great to support local artisans and local food producers, but it's just great to have a community space where people feel welcome and are having fun and enjoying themselves. So bravo, great work to all of you who do that work every week. And I also enjoy story time. I think that's one of my favorite things to do is read to kiddos. So thanks for inviting us. Sorry I can't be with you on the 50th. I'll be out of town, but I celebrate with you in spirit for sure, and will be happy to attend whenever I can. Honestly, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. It's always great to come to the farmers market, and a little more of a drive for me since I live outside of city limits, but I'm really grateful for all the work that you put in to make something for everyone at the farmers market. Story time is always great. I know we've had a little harder time this year with the heat, trying to find places where the kids and all of us aren't like roasting, but you have been so flexible and so positive about that, and I really appreciate that. It's something I really wanted to share. I really like the theme for this year, Rooted Here for 50 Years. I mean, that is really, I think, important to bring up about that theme because it has been, especially since I've been commissioner, and before that was the farmers market was here in the parking lot, kind of rooted here. And it's easy for folks to park and walk in, and it's great to see people walking out with these bags full of produce or something like me. There's a gal that I think it's wonderful. She comes, but she upcycles certain containers or vases and puts plants in them. And every year I can't help myself. I have to buy one. And in this one, I've got like a pumpkin teacup. It looks like a pumpkin, but it's a ceramic pot, and I chicken and hens in there. And I just look at it every day and think, wow, I'm supporting something that didn't go in the landfill and got upcycled, and do something now that I treasure, a little pop color in my kitchen. So there's just such great community spirit and the vibe and the families coming together. I always do my dogs of the farmers market every year, Instagram reel. And the dogs are so happy too. And I don't know if you saw last week or the week before the big dog with the yellow Crocs and the 4 feet. It was awesome. But it's great community spirit. And it's a gathering place for a lot of folks. People run into their neighbors. I run in some of the producers I know by name. It's great to thank them. You can buy bison from running around and from the ranch and have that wonderful bison or steaks. But then they also take the hair and make yarn, and they make some hats and things. I have some gloves, and it's just neat to see people using things and not wasting, and it's just really a cool. There's lots of cool concepts, and I just appreciate that because I think it's a chance for keeping our money local. But I also think, as we talked, as the other commissioners shared, it's really a showcase for those folks to, like I just mentioned, of what they have and what they can do. But also, I think it's the local produce is really fresh and it's gorgeous. And every time I walk through, I'm just amazed at just the lushness of the chard or the radishes, or I'm always thinking, when can I ever get my garden to look as glorious as this food does? But I think it is a place of community and connection, and talk about Colorado grown things. So the 3 C's there, I really like to think about that connection, and a connection to the soil health event you had, about also to how important soil health is. I'm hoping you'll share those results with us and let us know how that turns out. I'm very curious about that, and lots of cool special events. So well done. It is really, I've been to a lot of farmers markets, and I don't think I'm biased. I think it's probably the best farmers market in the northern Colorado region. And the only reason I don't say the whole state, because I haven't seen one in Durango yet, and my colleague down there says hers is the best. But we'll have to go check it out first before I seed anything like that. So, but well done. Appreciate all that you do. I know this is a labor of love for a lot of you, but I hope you know all the little details and just the special things you do are very much appreciated and valued. And your passion for this and the work you do and carrying all your team is just very much appreciated. So appreciate you being here today and celebrating. Lorinda, would you like to add some words to this?
I guess I'll just say, when you come to the market, you feel the vibe of being there. You feel the pride of the local producers, the pride of the community being able to shop local. It's an economic benefit, it's a social benefit, it's nutritional, it's all the things we would hope, and it makes summer a lot of fun. You all do a remarkable job, and the fact that you can put so many vendors into such a small space, I think we need to get you to teach classes on how to make the best use of space. You really have packed the market with some amazing, amazing vendors, and there's probably a wait list for folks who would love to come. So I guess thank you and happy 50th anniversary to the market.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to ask Commissioner Kafalis now to read the proclamation and make the motion to declare August 2nd through August 8th, 2026 as Larimer County Farmers Market Week. And then we'll stop and take a quick photo to celebrate this special day. Commissioner Kafalis, please could you proceed?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks, Maggie. Larimer County Farmers Market 2026 proclamation. Whereas Larimer County farmers and ranchers provide residents and visitors with access to healthful, locally and regionally produced foods through farmers markets, which are expanding and evolving to accommodate the demand for a diverse array of agricultural products, consumer packaged goods, and other products. And whereas farmers markets and other agricultural direct marketing outlets provide infrastructure to assist in the distribution of farm and value added products, thereby contributing approximately $9 billion each year to the U.S. economy. And whereas farmers markets serve as significant outlets by which small to medium, new and beginning, and veteran agricultural producers market agricultural products, generating revenue that supports the sustainability of family farms and the revitalization of rural communities nationwide. And whereas the Larimer County Board of County Commissioners recognizes the importance of expanding agricultural marketing opportunities that assist and encourage the next generation of farmers and ranchers, generate farm income to help stimulate business development and job creation, build community connections through rural and urban linkages, and more. Whereas the Larimer County Board of County Commissioners recognizes the importance of improving access to the federal nutrition benefit programs such as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, and locally run food access programs such as Market Days for Older Adults, program implemented by the Larimer County Farmers Market. And now, therefore, to further awareness of farmers markets' contributions to Larimer County life, the Larimer County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim the week of August 2nd through the 8th, 2026, as Larimer County Farmers Market Week in conjunction with the observance of National Farmers Market Week, and call upon Larimer County residents to celebrate farmers markets with appropriate observance and activities. In witness thereof, today, fourth day of August 2026.
Commissioner, would you please make that motion?
Yes. Yes, Madam Chair. I move to approve the proclamation declaring August 2nd through 8th, 2026 as the Larimer County Farmers Market Week.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Commissioner Kafalis.
Yes, I want to do a shout out to, we have our Larimer County Extension Director here, and I think it's important for folks to know, if they don't already, that this is yet another example of collaboration and partnerships. I think Farmers Market is one of our central services that we provide through our Larimer County Extension Office in collaboration with Colorado State University Extension Office. So once again, spectacular, fabulous, fun, uh, highly nutritious endeavor that brings people together. You can't. That's a good thing. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
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 That passes 3-0. For those of you watching, we're going to pause for a moment. We'll go offline. We're going to take a quick photo and we'll return momentarily. Thank you. Welcome back. Thank you for your patience as we celebrated our 50th anniversary of the Farmers Market and Farmers Market Week for August 2nd through the 8th, 2026 here in Larimer County. We're very excited for that. Now we're moving on to the next item on our agenda, which is the review the audit results with the independent auditor and accept the 2025 annual comprehensive financial report, also known as ACFR. And we are here to hear this presentation, and we're going to kick it off with Lori. Lori, would you introduce yourself? And thank you for being here, and thanks to our independent auditors for being here as well.
My name is Lori Lopez. I am the county's, do I need to be closer? Okay. I'm Lori Lopez. I'm the county's finance director, and I'm going to kick this off, and then I'm going to turn it over real quickly to the auditors and then our team who actually does the work. They do the hard work. So I just wanted to mention that this process is a long process. It takes a lot of time to gather all the information from all the departments. And what we do, and when I say we, I mean they do the hard work. They take all that information and they report it in what's called the annual comprehensive financial report. And it's this document. And it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of knowledge and dedication. But in the end, this document tells the story of the county. It tells the story of what we've done for the year. It brings together budget. It brings together what we actually did. And it's a long read, but it's a good read. So I also just wanted to mention that we will again be submitting this financial report to the Government Finance Officers Association for consideration for the Excellence in Financial Reporting Award that we have won, and I'm going to knock on wood, since 1982. And we hope that this one will win that award as well. And with that, I'm going to kick it off to the auditors, and then I would love to bring up our controller so she can introduce our team. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori, and welcome.
Thank you. I'm Matt Marino. I was your engagement partner this year. Joining me today also is Max Haberkorn, who was your engagement manager, but subsequent to us being out here for field work was promoted to partner, so I can now call him my fellow partner. And also joining me is Matt Christensen, which was one of your managers as well, and he is back there as well. So as Lori mentioned, this is a kind of a collaborative process, not only for my county and finance, but many different elements within the county. So every year, you're charged with doing an audit as part of state statute, your charter, and that gets submitted to the Government Finance Officers Association for that certificate program. So we did issue an unmodified or clean opinion on the ACFR or the financial statements. Unmodified sounds very unexciting, but that's a gold star for the financials were appropriately presented materially in compliance with government accounting standards. Doesn't sound very exciting, but that is a lot of work on their part. As part of the audit, we also have to do some additional auditing because the county receives and expends federal funds. So there's several programs that we as the county are charged with running. Some of them have been brought up earlier, such as SNAP, WIC, that sort of programs. So as part of that audit, we issue a report over financial reporting, and we issued an unmodified opinion on that. And then we also issued a compliance opinion on every year we have to go through the different federal programs that the county is running. We do a risk-based approach and say, let's audit a lot of the programs on a regular basis, making sure that we are running the programs in compliance with the federal statutes, the rules that the state might send on how the programs are to be run, and I'll talk about that a little later in the presentation. But overall, we did issue a clean opinion on that as well. So I'm going to kind of walk you through our required communications as your auditor. We are independent of the county. We are there to call balls and strikes, make sure nothing's out of bounds. Doesn't mean that we don't collaborate with the county throughout the year. There's a couple of great examples already. We're very aware of the upcoming uniform guidance changes that are proposed at the federal government level, and the county has already proactively reached out to talk about having a training that we'll put on site here to help educate your team here on what the changes once they're finally finalized, and also just continue the education around federal grant programs. So it's kind of a constant. Yes, the audit happens at specific times throughout the year, but I would like to applaud Lori and Saras and the entire team on when there's questions, they reach out and we proactively work together to make sure that those things are taken care of as timely as possible. So management's responsible for the financial statements. So throughout the process, really this year was not as exciting a year as far as accounting standards go, which is probably welcome change for the accounting and finance team. That doesn't mean that in the future there won't be changes, but really nothing we need to bring to your attention. The significant accounting policies are spelled out in footnote 1 of the financial statements. We did implement a new accounting standard, GASB 102, which has to do with certain risk disclosures. It really wasn't a large impact to the county, nothing I need to bring to your attention with regard to that. No other accounting policies were changed. No transactions lacked authoritative guidance or were kind of ambiguous. Nothing too exciting from that perspective. Inherent in every set of financial statements are some estimates. So there are numbers that you can call the bank and say how much do we have in the bank, but then there's other things that you have to use expert opinion to, for example, how long should a road last? That's an estimate. We don't know for sure, but there's some good guidance on what it should. And so all the estimates that were included in the financial statements are the estimates that we would expect to see in financial statements. They looked consistent with accounting standards and best practices. So nothing I need to bring to your attention there. Also, another bigger estimate is leases and subscription-based information technology arrangements. So there's some assumptions on discount rates, lending rates, all that sort of stuff, how long we're going to keep a lease going, how long we might be entered in a contract with regard to certain information technology assets. That's all an estimate because you're kind of having to project out in the future how all that's going to occur, but it all looked very reasonable. And inherent in every set of financial statements are disclosures on the actual financial statement themselves, but also there's footnotes. And so there's a couple of footnotes that we'd like to draw your attention to. The self-insurance footnote in footnote 6 is a good read. Footnote 9 talks about the closure and post-closure costs with regard to the landfill. Footnote 7, footnote 7. Footnote 9 talks about the long-term liabilities of the county, so debt and other long-term liabilities. And then footnote 17 talks about commitments and contingent liabilities. And nothing exciting there. We just always like to highlight it just because those are things that might be important to look at to gain an understanding of how the county is looking. As part of the financial statement, we're to let you know whether there were any corrected or uncorrected financial statement misstatements. The good news is that we did not have significant adjustments that needed to be made. Why is that important to you? That's important because your county finance team is producing highly accurate information throughout the year that doesn't require a lot of adjustment or correction on our part as part of the audit process. So kudos to them for the commitments to clear and accurate financial reporting, and so this audit is kind of the culmination of that process. We really had no difficulties dealing with the county finance team or accounting team, or really any departments. Really, quite frankly, the county is a joy to work with. We've stayed on schedule. We issue on time every year. There's not that there's best practice recommendations we make every year on little nuances that you can make things more efficient or better as far as processes, but nothing that I would need to bring to your attention that would be concerning from an auditor perspective. We had no disagreements with management, and like I said, it's usually proactive and really ahead of the time. There's very few times where anything's even a surprise to us. We already know about it and have discussed it before it even comes to year end, which is a great place to be. Let's see. Included in the annual comprehensive financial report is a lot of other data. You have your management discussion analysis. You have some statistical information. We do look at that and make sure there's nothing that's inconsistent with what's in the financial statements, just because if it's all in one package, it should generally tell more or less the same story. So we do look at that and make sure that that looks well, and there's nothing we need to bring to your attention with regard to that. As I mentioned earlier, we audit the federal expenditure program, so we looked at 4 different programs this year. We looked at the what's usually called WIC, which is Supplemental Nutrition for Infants and Children. We looked at Title IV-E Foster Care, Medicaid, and then we also looked at the Employment Services Cluster. we looked at the employment services cluster just because there were some changes in that department a little bit, and it had been a while since the grant had been selected for testing. I'm happy to report that there's no reportable control deficiencies, either material weaknesses or significant deficiencies that I need to bring to your attention. So that's a great job on the county's perspective. As I mentioned earlier, the governmental accounting standards were not as big this year, but for this next year, GASB 103 will change the financial reporting model a little bit. It changes what's going to be included in the management discussion and analysis. It also changes how operating and non-operating income is presented on some of the financial statements. Your team's well ahead of it, but I just want to alert you that as part of just doing the general accounting, there is always different accounting standards that change that require the attention of the team, which I fully believe they will have zero problem implementing. That concludes what I need to say. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to serve as your auditors. We love serving clients and being there to help the public understand that there's an independent party that looks at this and makes sure that it is accurate and is the way it should be. And we enjoy doing that. And it's not only a public service, but we also enjoy seeing communities thrive and grow, much like the county has done.
Thank you. And we enjoy having you back every year and appreciate all this information and the partnership. And before I have the other colleagues, I just want to make a quick comment on your best practice recommendations. I think we always should look for improving. No one's perfect, and we're always, and the landscape changes. You mentioned those other new filings or recommendations coming from the federal government. So there's always things we're going to have to adjust to. But I welcome that. I think our staff does too. We're always looking to always do the best job we can. And so I appreciate those comments. I'm going to turn this, ask Commissioner Stevens if she has any questions or comments.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Appreciate the work. And, I'm glad that our departments are easy to work with. That's our experience too, but it's always good to have that external validation on that. One of the questions I had really thrilled, and that there's a clean opinion, good news, not surprised, but always happy to hear it. And it is great to hear from a third party because we have that trust in our finance department, and to have that confirmation is really important. With regard to some of the federal programs that you look at every year, so you said you take a risk-based approach. Is WIC always one of those programs? Is there I particularly remember WIC maybe from last year, but can you just discuss that just a little bit?
There's a quantitative and a qualitative evaluation we have to go through. So there's typically how it generally works is larger programs have to be audited once every 3 years. So they're just kind of on a rotation no matter what. And so, but then if a program changes or if there's, when we were in COVID land where there was additional COVID funding that was supplementing some of those programs, some of those got selected more often because they had supplemental funding from COVID. But it's, or just like we did with the employment services grant, there were some changes in the leadership team there. Nothing necessarily that we thought was going to be wrong, but anytime there's changes, there's the possibility there could be things wrong. And so that's where the qualitative part of it, that program is maybe not dollar-wise as large as some of your other programs that we run as a county, but it was important to make sure we took a look at it. So it's both quantitative and qualitative, but there's a certain amount of programs have to be audited almost always. So,
and then with some of the changes that we don't just anticipate them; we know they're coming. With SNAP and Medicaid, do you anticipate kind of probably having to go back to those because of some of those federal changes, or are you looking more for sort of changes that we have kind of locally?
It's both. So if there's significant changes on how we administer it locally, but also if they change the eligibility requirements significantly for the program, or we had to kind of look at all of it and make a determination. Now, those large dollar programs that are always large dollar, those are always going to get rotated in just because they're big and they're important programs. But there's the federal government's been very busy the last couple of years issuing executive orders, as well as the impending potential changes with regard to uniform guidance, which could have some impacts on even the ability to cancel programs in the middle of the program, which could pose some difficulties to plan for budgets, and how do you conceivably run a program if you don't know if it could be canceled in the middle of the program. So
Yeah, we're wrestling with that. All wrestling with that. What that
so
looks like.
we're
So-
monitoring it. Max went to the National GFOA conference, and he got to talk to, was it the legislative liaison? I think it was, for the OMB. And so obviously a lot of proposals out there. As soon as we get some more definite, we'll be working with the county to implement best practices and give them recommendations of what we're
That would be
seeing.
great, because I think it is a really difficult landscape to operate in. Like you said, if you have that ability to lose a grant sort of midway through a grant, what does that look like? So
Uncertainty makes things very difficult.
it does, yes. And you're in a position, and so is our finance team, where they like certainty.
Certainty is a lot definitely preferred.
Right. So, well, I appreciate you staying on top of that and getting those best practices out to our staff as we sort of navigate this different landscape that we're in. So, but great work, and thanks for your report.
Thank you, Commissioner Stevens. Commissioner Kofaldes.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I think I have a couple of questions, and I wasn't sure, I think, about Lori was saying that maybe we're going to hear from the controllers. So I want to make sure we have that opportunity. Let's see, perhaps to dig a little bit deeper into what I think Commissioner Stevens brought up. Could we look at an example? So, for example, with regard to federal programs such as either SNAP or I think it's SNAP, where work requirements are already in place as of June 1st. We're seeing a lot of churning as the term goes. And I think both with SNAP and Medicaid, on the administrative side, there'll be a need to, rather than annually, certify that folks are eligible for benefits every 6 months. So with that in mind, Matt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Matthew, how would it work? So you become aware of that, then you reach out to Lori, and then work with the departments? How does that work? Can you give us an example, please?
They're going to find out a lot earlier sometimes from the state, because a lot of these programs, the state's responsible for starting the program, and then we're working in concert with the state as a county to do SNAP or whatever, because a lot of it's not necessarily direct from the federal government. So we take our cues not only from what we're hearing at the federal level, we'll look at the state single audit and say, well, gee, if the state's having problems with this part of the program, is it likely that our client could also have problems with that same program? We spend a lot of time reading and trying to keep up on things to make sure, but really you're going to hear about it a lot of times before we're going to test it, because they have to actually administer the program. We're just testing the administration after the fact. It doesn't prohibit us from providing some best practices or guidance throughout the year, but really we're going to be there just to memorialize and make sure that it was administered in compliance with the changes that were made throughout the year.
Thank you. May I just do a couple more, please? Thank you. So I appreciate that answer. Maybe Lori could expand on that a bit at the appropriate time. I'm wondering, given that you use the word proactive, and I appreciate that everyone around here is proactive, there are some potentially tsunami-like changes coming to how we deliver human services in the state of Colorado as a result of House Bill 1429. Some of that will begin to take effect, and some of that is in response to H.R. 1 and so on and so forth. But significant, the state has historically been a state supervised, county administered, and a lot of that's going to likely change. And I imagine you're aware of that, and you guys might have to work overtime to figure out how to keep track of all the finances there. How does that work?
Max and I are very busy, not only reading federal, state, local. We have great relationships with the Department of Human Services at state level. We spend a ton of time collaborating with not only clients but stakeholders, legislators, our professions all over the stuff at the federal level. I get alerts all day, every day about this federal government might do this, or very rare is there a day I'm wondering what I'm going to do with my day. It's either
Well, thank you. I think we have that in common, perhaps. Last question, and then just a statement of affirmation, and that is, so sometimes as elected folks, perhaps less so at the local level, county level, we, there's not the greatest level of trust in government and how we spend public funds, taxpayer dollars. For regular folks in plain language, what would be your takeaway message to the thousands of folks that are listening to this broadcast, that the results of this audit is just a way to assure them that we are doing the best we can to be good stewards of the money?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we issued an unmodified or clean opinion. What that means is the financials do not contain material misstatements of the financial position of the county. How much do we have in assets? What do we owe in liabilities? Are we accurate and truthful in the disclosures that we're making? And in our opinion, they are accurate.
Okay, well, thank you. I'll pause there and I'll save a couple more questions for Lori. But fantastic work. I appreciate the collaboration with the finance department and our controller folks and all the various departments that you have to interact with. So thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I had to make sure I wrote all the last names, but congratulations on being partner. Well-deserved. Congratulations to that. And it's great. I think it's my second year being able to talk to you as chair and talk about everything. And I have to say it is really a great partnership and discussion. And I know that we all want the same thing. We want to make sure everything is, all, like you said, a clean opinion, unmodified. And this is our way of independently showing, especially as a board, since we're responsible for this, to say, yes, we're being transparent, accountable, and we are, good stewards of public money. And I think it's been, I think Lori will share, it's been over 41 years. We've gotten an exemplary status from the organization you just submitted to again. And but I think it's really important for the public to hear that we have this independent audit, and then it is a comprehensive financial report.
Correct.
And I wanted to kind of comment on that because I've been involved with some other things where it maybe was very high, small level, and this one's pretty thorough and lots of programs, and we have a lot of separate accounts and federal money, state money. It's a very complicated budget, and for the county, and that's different than sometimes municipalities and other things because we do have so many funds that mix and mingle, but they don't. They have special directions that they can only go where they can go. And that's really great for us to know as a body of policymakers who are responsible for making sure this all works, and the county manager, of course. But we work with her and teamwork. That what we see and what we feel and how we see on a daily basis, and our budget season is not just in the fall. It is it's year round. We talk about this all the time. And so what we see and what we think and what I have witnessed, it's great to have this independent audit to validate and confirm what we think we see and feel. And having your expertise, your firm is just exemplary, and the work that you do and the opinion I did read through some of that. And I've, after having to talk about different kinds of audits and budgets on other entities I sit on, I feel a little more well-versed to understand some of not most, but I can dive in a little deeper.
Good.
And so I felt this one I did dive in a little deeper, and I was really pleased to read what I read and to understand some of those terms of what you're looking for. And I think that one of those things I wanted to ask about, you didn't find anything material that you're concerned about. And that I wanted to just say that publicly, nothing material was found. And so that was really, or in some things you did talk about best practices. That's amazing. We can, just to have that example that we can find some things that we can improve on. Our team is already exemplary and doing a great job, but I know they want to do always the best they can I haven't met an employee yet in Larimer County who isn't always looking to do the best they can and learned how they can do better. And so that's one of our guiding principles. And I think that's really important. But I wanted to say, I was so glad to see that word, nothing material. That was really great for me for a lot of reasons.
Good.
And I think that also you talked about no surprises, and you talked about staying on time, and there were any difficulties. There's this great open book and conversation and partnership and trying to like open up and come look at it, tell us what you see, and if there's any challenges or questions. And it's really great. You say you talk about highly accurate information throughout the year, that they do this all year long, being accurate, highly accurate throughout the entire year. So when you come in, it's fairly straightforward. And I think that is a testament, and really that was the statement I wanted to come back and mention for this amazing team, that throughout the year, highly accurate. And so it makes this process even go smoother, and that's why you keep getting these high awards when you apply. So I think that is for the public. I hope you're hearing that this is a really special thing and something we can do once a year to show, hey, when we say we're accountable and transparent and being good stewards of public money, this is proof. An independent audit saying they didn't, no findings, a unmodified clean opinion. That is a big deal. So I wanted to share that, and just appreciate you all being here today in person. That means a lot, and get able to ask questions. I think I've asked all my questions for today, but I just want to, again, thank you for bringing some good new practices. I think next year we're all going to be maybe a little cross-eyed trying to figure out if we can keep up with all the changes just like before, but it is what it is. We have to navigate what's thrown at us. So thank you for helping us, and you already gotten ahead of that, because I think we're all going to look to help each other, like, say what? So we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to also ask Lorenda if she had anything she wanted to add or say, because I know she's a big, important part of this process. Thank you.
I guess, thank you. And I hope that the public understands, while there's a lot of interest maybe in the budget is the plan. It's future looking. It's what we intend to do with the funds. But this is the report card. This is the historical document that assures folks that the funds that were spent on behalf of the community are spent wisely and appropriately. And I don't want to understate how long it takes to put this thing together. So while we're always budgeting, this team is always working to make sure that their work papers are there, that everything is there to be looked at, that it is transparent. And this report is also transparent. It is not only part of today's agenda that was published, but it will be published on the county's website, as have previous reports. And so I encourage anyone who's interested in understanding how the county operates or reading any of these footnotes, go out and take a look at it. We're proud of our work. We are not perfect, but we are always striving for perfection. And I think that is the beauty of the relationship between the accounting staff and the auditors, is we're open, we're always looking for better ways to do things, and any suggestions that come forward, we're happy to take. So thank you, and thanks to the team who I hope we'll hear from here soon. Lori has got a great team, and Saras, as our controller, has done a wonderful job managing this process this year, which was probably a little hard for Lori since she used to manage this process over time. But there is a fabulous team, and it's great to see you here.
Thank you, Lorenda. Well said. So Matt, appreciate the report, and thank you for the hard copies. And I'll let Lori bring up the controller, and you're still in the room. And if we have any other questions, you never know. But Lori, bring up who you would like, and we'll keep rolling with this. Thanks, Matt. Thank you.
Hello, I would like to introduce Saras Mohammed. She is the county's controller, and she and her team manage this very long, very important process. And with that, I'm going to turn it over.
Hello, good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Saras Mohammed, and I'm the controller. Thank you for your time this morning. As has been mentioned, completing the audit is quite an undertaking. The finance staff, some of whom are here today, they're very highly competent accountants who put forth much effort in meticulously planning their work and diligently following through. Carrie Slowey leads the team. She's there in the blue. She's our accounting manager. And also Corey Bonato. She's the senior accountant. She's there in the black. So I just wanted to thank this team for all their incredible hard work. But it's not just the finance team. We work with all the departments throughout the county. They put in a lot of hard work and partnership. They respond to us timely. They're very cooperative and friendly in working with us, and we really appreciate their partnership and hard work. This wouldn't have been successfully completed without all the accountants throughout the county. Particularly the Treasury Department is heavily involved. And so I want to thank Irene and her team. They timely and accurately provide many information and answers to many of our inquiries. But really just all the departments from Human Services to Road and Bridge and the Ranch and the Extension Office who was here earlier this morning. So I really just wanted to say thanks to all the individuals involved and acknowledge all their work. We're glad to have another year under our belt, and before we know it, we'll be starting our 2026 audit. So just thank you again.
Thank you very much. Well done. I mean, we're having this big discussion today, and it makes it sound so simple and easy. But I know this is a very, I would say arduous, because there's a lot of work to go into this and a lot of fine detail and a lot of expertise and understanding what different departments and funding sources and codes and all I can say is thank goodness for all of you and your passion for this and numbers and keeping things straight. I always think about all the different folks in the county with staff members and their passion and their focus. And thank goodness, because not all of us have those kinds of focuses and numbers and meticulous. We're all meticulous, but you were very meticulous with some of these fundings. And thank goodness, because the county could not operate, we could not do what we do without each and every one of you. It's just such important work. I'll see if Commissioner Stevens had anything else or questions or comments she'd like to make.
Well, thank you, Saras. Thanks for your work and thanks for acknowledging the team. I'm really glad you're all here. Is there any kind of takeaways that you have after going through the experience that you wanted to share, or just beyond, the cooperation from the departments, which is, sounds like really appreciated?
Yeah, no, I'm just, this is my 5th year, I think, with the county, and I'm just really impressed with how just competent and the partnerships that we have with the departments. There's never any kind of difficulties in dealing with, the many departments that we work with, and along with our auditors, and just kind of working through that process with everybody. So it's really great.
And when do you start up again? What's the timeline for all of you?
Probably November. So what are we, August? So in 3 months.
Well, yeah, so it really is a very long process.
Yeah.
But, we appreciate that. We're really grateful to the departments that are good about getting you the information, because you're seeking a lot of information as you're putting these reports together, and really, definitely been in organizations where there have been delays because of, not being able to easily find some of the information that's needed. And so I'm really glad that things are going smoothly, and thanks for your leadership.
Thank you, Commissioner Stevens. Commissioner Kopfalis.
Yes. Thank you, Sarash and team, and for clarifying. You're the controller, and those folks are accountants and account managers. My son is actually an accounts manager at CSU in the Laurie Student Center, so I think he spends a lot of time in front of large computer screens. So thank you for that work. Tremendous. I assume that since this starts up again perhaps in November or so, does that mean you all get sort of a mild reprieve for a week or two, or not that you're
Somewhat, yes, but
a little bit.
Throughout the year, there's been other projects that we kind of put on the back burner, so it's kind of our time to catch up on some of the other stuff. But there's a few months where it's like as soon as the prior year's end, and then we're already looking forward to the next year and preparing for that.
Great. Well, I'm well earned. I have a question and then perhaps a suggestion. And my question is, are there ever instances where the auditors meet directly with the department folks, or is it always through you all, the finance folks?
When they're doing the single audit, when they are looking at the grants, they'll meet directly with the departments.
They will. Very good. Thank you. And then finally, I'm wondering, while I appreciate our finance director's suggestion that this is excellent Friday night reading of the comprehensive financial audit report, and I did look through it, but I'm afraid I probably didn't read it as meticulously as you all did. But I'm wondering if we've ever thought about, like we do with the budget, we have something called a budget brief, but some kind of an easier document that maybe is more digestible for folks, with the key takeaways from the results. That might be a way to, make this more real for regular folks and point them in that direction. Because even with our budget and even with the October 15th letter that we get from an overview, there's a great entry in there from the county manager and I think we have that in here, but that's just the idea. Some kind of an audit brief that might help make things more real for folks, regular folks.
Yeah, the
That's
best
all. Thank you.
document I could recommend then is the management discussion and analysis. That's on
course.
page 5. I know the comprehensive financial audit is about 200 pages, but the MD&A is about 5 pages, and it kind of summarizes
Okay.
the entire document. So that would be my best suggestion for the public if they would like to have something that's kind of more succinct and kind of an overview. And I appreciate that suggestion. And we are in the, along those lines, we're in the middle, of implementing a new software that will help us produce this more efficiently. And out of that, we could produce a smaller document that's easier to digest, and it would make it much more efficient for us to do so. So we will put that on our list of things to do with the new software. So thank you.
Indeed, just for your consideration, and I appreciate your mentions about what's in the report. Just perhaps something with more pie graphs or more pictures and maybe a few less words to help. I think that could be helpful. For your consideration, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ross, I just want to again commend you. I mean, you haven't been here very long, but I'm taking over from Lori, who's been there a while, and I can tell she thinks so highly of you. It seems like such a great partnership and team, and again, seamless. It seems seamless, and I know probably behind the scenes, it's not. But you all make it so seamless for us, and I just wanted to say thank you. And I don't want to understate how important this work is and how much you all do every week of the year. As the auditors say, highly accurate information throughout the year. That takes a lot of diligence and work and focus. And I think that is maybe we need to make sure other people understand how hard you all work and how important this is for you to have that throughout the whole year. We're so fortunate. The taxpayers and Larimer County residents and taxpayers are so fortunate to have all of you working so hard to make sure this money is spent and being transparent and clear of where it's going and where it should be going, and just appreciate all of that so much. Have all the confidence in all of you. Thank you so much for your work. And great to have you all here today and answer our questions. I do think it's great to have other documents so people in the public, if they want to understand this better, like material versus not material, or those things, those are some definitions that maybe help people understand what this means. Because unmodified clean opinion means a lot to all of us in the room, that we understand that, but members of the public may not understand exactly how huge and big that is to have that statement. So do you have anything else you'd like to add, or anything else you'd like to, some questions you hoped we'd ask that maybe you would like to share? Okay. Well, is that all we have today for this item?
That's all.
Great. Thank you all for being here today. And thanks to the entire team, all of you being here. Hi, Janelle. Janelle has the wonderful task of also tackling all the regional opioid abatement money, making sure that all gets where. I just want to thank you all for being here in person today. It's great to see you all. And to Matt, thank you for the partnership, and thank you for all that you do to help us. This is a big, important thing for us and a big value, and we want to thank you for helping us in bringing some more best practice recommendations. That's always welcomed, I think. So thank you. And we'll move on to our next item. And if you guys would like to go ahead next, please do. We have a couple more. Oh, and we have to, I'm sorry, before we do that, we need to make the motion. And Commissioner Stevens, would you make that motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move to approve the annual comprehensive financial report.
Thank you for that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 That passes 3-0. Congratulations. Well done. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on now to review the referee's recommendations to the Board of County Commissioners, convened as the Board of Equalization for the hearings held on from July 23rd through July 29th. And we have Elizabeth Carter, our recording manager from the Clerk and Recorder's Office. And I'm going to ask Commissioner Kafalis to please first make the motion that for us to convene as the Board of Equalization.
So moved.
Okay, so now we are, all those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
I said aye.
I didn't hear that, so, okay. So now it's 3-0. Elizabeth, we are now, as Board of Equalization, please proceed.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Elizabeth Carter with the Recording Department of the Clerk and Recorder's Office. And as the chair mentioned, here to report to you all on the hearings held from July 23rd through July 29th. If I may, though, just before I give this report, since this is the last time we'll be at admin matters, did want to take a quick moment just to thank our partners in this process. Of course, it's the clerk's office that comes and reports to you each week, but needless to say, we couldn't do this without, obviously, Assessor Overbeck and his team and their willingness to work with us. And of course, the manager's office and their support, and everybody in the commissioner's office who is just such great partners to work with. And of course, you all, our board and our referees and the referees that you appointed for us. As always, they were great. They're always willing to adjust their schedules to help us to meet the demands of the petitioners and our residents here in Larimer County. So we're very grateful to them. Now for the hearings themselves. So there were a total in this period of 156 accounts that were considered. And as you know, these accounts relate to real property, mobile homes, business, personal property, oil and gas, severed mineral rights, and possessory interest accounts. There were a total of 85 hearings which were conducted. There were 81 accounts adjusted, and of those, 15 were stipulated changes. 75 accounts were denied, and 27 of those counts were an administrative denial requested by the petitioner or their agent. The rate of change for this period was up a little bit. It was 2.26%. So previously, the first week, it had been 0.09. The second week, it was 1.37, and this week, it was up to 2.26. But our total year-to-date percentage of change is 1.6 for the hearings held so far. We did hold a few hearings on Friday, July the 31st, and yesterday, so we will report to those to you tomorrow afternoon. And I am happy to try and answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you for always being so diligent and sharing all this information with us. And thanks to Deidre and all of you, the whole office, the work that you do, and organizing and getting this all back to us is exemplary, and we really appreciate all that you do. And please give our best to Clerk Harris as well, Tina Harrison, Clerk and Recorder. Just great team, and you guys do just great work. Commissioner Stevens, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I don't have any questions. I'm assuming you're happy to be at the end of this process, and I appreciate the work that you've done.
Thank you.
Commissioner Kafalis?
I do not have questions, just lots of appreciation.
Thank you.
I want to thank you again. It's really important work. And yes, I'm sure you're all glad to be through another process. So I will go ahead and ask Commissioner Kafalis now to make the motion to approve the recommendations submitted by the Board of Equalization referees for the hearings held this past week.
Yes, I move to approve the recommendations submitted by the Board of Equalization referees for the hearings held July 23rd, 2026 through July 29th, 2026.
Thank you. And that is a motion on the table. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That passes 3-0. welcome. Thank you again. And now I'll ask Commissioner Gonzalez to make the motion to adjourn the meeting as the Board of Equalization and reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners.
Yes, thank you. I move to adjourn the meeting as the Board of Equalization and reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners.
Thanks for that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Great. We're now back as Board of County Commissioners. Have a lovely day.
You too.
Okay, now we're moving on to the next item on our agenda, which is our County Manager update. Lorenda, what do you have to share today?
Thank you very much. I guess I'll just reiterate what Elizabeth said briefly, which is there is a special meeting tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Hearings had to be held on Friday, July 31st, and yesterday, August 3rd, that couldn't make it to this agenda, and so you'll have a very short packet to look at tomorrow at 3 o'clock. That will be broadcast like all meetings are. So if anyone is interested in following this, they can find that online. For me last week, I had a lot of external meetings. I met with the interim manager of Loveland, Brian Waldis, and probably one of the most uplifting weeks we've had in a very long time. As sad as the commemoration of the 1976 50th anniversary of the flood was, the way that the event was held, the many events were held. The one that we were part of hosting was hosted by our emergency management director, Lori Hodges, and it was a storytelling of the first responders of the event. And I know you were all there. It was quite a touching event. I think there were more than 200 people in attendance, which is far more than they expected, and the feedback has been very, very good, as you can imagine. Just respecting what those first responders did then and all the lessons that they learned. I think that was the real takeaway, is not only did they respond then, but we used many of those things in 2013 and continue to learn from every time we encounter a disaster, especially of that magnitude. And then, of course, the ribbon cutting at the ranch. I'll let you all talk about the Great Lawn ribbon cutting. That was a wonderful thing to celebrate. And then the fair is this weekend. I think rodeo is tonight, I think, is the closing night. And so I'm sure you all will talk about your experiences there. But congratulations to the staff. A lot of great things have happened. A lot of logistics came together to make all of these things happen in real time. So, thank you.
Thank you, Lorenda. Yeah, it was a uplifting and very impactful week, and we had a lot of those things on the same day. So it was an impactful week. Commissioner Stevens, I'll start with you. Do you have any commissioner reports?
Yeah, I'll be brief here today. I just want to really thank the Fair Board for all their work as we move into the last day of the fair. They are there sort of morning, noon, and night doing some really hard work. And it's, as folks know, it's been really hot this week. So that we've had to close down the barns to the public. And some of the Fair Board members had to, make some hard decisions and have some hard conversations with folks around that. And so I just really appreciate their willingness to go the extra mile, to always have a smile on their face, even in 100-degree weather when they're, slugging things around and, taking people on golf carts. And yesterday, our Fair Board chair even shoveling some manure and to make sure that we had a nice environment for some of our scholarship winners. So they do go above and beyond, and so we're really grateful for the work that they do. I mean, Commissioner Shattuck McNally can speak to the rodeo board, who also does a ton of hard work to make sure this happens. But today's the last day of the fair. I hope people come out to the fair, enjoy the rides, enjoy the booths, and then congratulations to all the 4-H'ers who work really hard. They've also had a really hot week. And 4-H is a great program where young people get leadership skills, public speaking skills, have to do community service, but then also in the summer when other kids might be having fun, they are taking care of animals, creating their record books, showing at the fair, and the responsibility that imbues in young people is just so really important. So really great program. Thank you for all the 4-H volunteers and all the 4-H'ers who make the fair really special for all of us. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner Stevens. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I will yield my time.
Okay. I will like to share a few things. It was a very impactful week, and I'll first build off of what Commissioner Stevens had to say. I've been at the Fair and Rodeo every day, and since Wednesday, Thursday. I wanted to just, well, let's even back it up a little bit more. Let's start on last week before the Fair and Rodeo. We had some important things. We had a budget retreat that was most of the day, but before that, I went up to the Horseshoe Reservoir as the Department of Natural Resources held their annual volunteer appreciation breakfast. And it was such a wonderful time to be able to thank all these people who take such pride in volunteering for our Department of Natural Resources. It's for almost 15,000. I mean, I think it was 3 hours short of 15,000 hours that those volunteers contribute to help DNR with in our open spaces from barbed wire removal. I have gone and volunteered, and I know how much work that is, to trail building, to volunteer education events. It just amplifies the work of our natural resources, and it saves with limited resources. This amplifies and brings more work and bodies and capacity to Department of Natural Resources. And it was great to talk to those folks and also to celebrate the great work of our Department of Natural Resources staff who partners with these volunteers and support them. They take care of them and look after them during all the events. And I just wanted to say it was very special, and I appreciated being able to come and have a quick breakfast with them and come down for the budget retreat. Then I went to the Loveland Town Hall for the Colorado Connector Front Range Passenger Rail train presentation at Loveland at the Rialto Theater above, and was a great turnout, and a lot of people asking questions, and it was fun to get to talk about that and a new area, a new way to kind of check on that. So that was fun. We had our commission on Colorado Fire Commission subcommittee meeting with the Colorado Forest Health Council for the prescribed fire subcommittee, and that work still continues. It's really important that we continue to try to advance some of these important measures to reduce the impacts of a wildfire. It's important work, and it's great to have that partnership. We're still kind of trying to figure out how we implement these and get the money and funding to do some of these recommendations, but the work continues. And we had Commissioner Stevens and I both attended the Colorado Commissioners Acting Together Summer Retreat. We had to attend remotely. But I want to share with folks that, as commissioners, we're still meeting with other commissioners, talking about legislation and policies and focuses as we head into this next session for the legislature. And so it's year-round work, and I just wanted to commend all the commissioners because we're having hard conversations and having a lot of talks about what we can work on together, which is not always the same priorities, but we try to find common ground. So appreciate the conversations. And then I want to thank Connor McGrath, Lindsay, the project manager for the event lawn. We got to do a preview with Commissioner Stevens and I in one of the new electric golf carts that can take 24 people around through the new event lawn. They nicknamed her Betty White. It was so much fun. But it was great to see the event lawn and all the special features that are all around, especially like the water filling stations on each of the spokes. If you're at the Fair and Rodeo, look for those little great pillars at the end of the walkways and the spokes that have a water bottle filler, so you don't have to, or water in whatever you're drinking, glass filler, so you don't have to go in the buildings. There's chances for you to refuel there on the spokes, and so there's lots of details, and it's just gorgeous. The 7.5 months to get that lawn done and ready for the Fair and Rodeo is, as Lindsay, the project manager, said, was accomplishing the impossible. And they worked 6 days a week through all late into the night. I want to just commend Lindsay and her team, Connor McGrath, who brought Lindsay on in the work. And I mean, what a great effort by everyone, including the construction tools, the ranch staff, everyone involved, and our construction partners, design partners. It's a beautiful event space. I've only heard people just rave about it as we've been at the Fair and Rodeo and walking around. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up. And then at the the Larimer County Fair and Rodeo Queens Barbecue on that night, it was a new location on that event lawn, and it was a little more space, and it was just delightful, very delightful. And I appreciate Rodeo Queen Addie and her reign this year. She's such a great spokeswoman, and I think she's on to great and wonderful, beautiful things. And it was a wonderful evening. I want to comment and compliment Lori Hodges. Well, we had our CCAT summer retreat that continued the next day, but we had that big Thompson 1976 flood anniversary event at the polling building. I counted 243 people. So, and some of them left because we ran out of chairs, but they finally brought out more chairs. But I want to commend Lori Hodges, our Director of Emergency Management, her team, for a job well done, and all the first responders from the National Weather Service who came and spoke about how that happened, our first responders, our fire department, our sheriff's office, our emergency services, Thompson Valley Emergency Medical Services team, everyone who came and told the story of that night. And I was actually 10 years old that morning as we came up early, and I was able to share my memory of how horrible it was to see the devastation early the next morning. The folks that came, they asked for any first responders who responded that morning or that evening to stand up, and I think I counted 5. You think about that, 50 years later, and those folks are still around, and just to have them stand up and be able to be part of that was extremely special. And I want to just commend them for a job well done. I was so touched and so moved, and so I appreciate that opportunity. And then we went to the vent lawn cutting, and again, ranch staff, Connor McGrath, Lindsay, our partners with Visit Estes Park, and the Love and Chamber came. We haven't had them around before, so that was nice to have them join us to celebrate our ribbon cutting on the vent lawn. And it was wonderful to have the Indigenous Iron Family Indigenous dancers. They've been there. We've done that for 5 years, and thanks to Lou at the ranch staff for continuing to bring them on. And it was a blessing of the space and the opening of the Fair and Rodeo. And it was just a nice back-to-back. It was a full day, but it was nice to end on such a wonderful celebration. And again, stunning. I'm just blown away at how beautiful that vent lawn is. And people are just, I was just trying to be a quiet person on the field, and people were just, wow, it's so big. This is amazing. God, I don't even recognize it. It was lots of great feedback. And I think that's amazing to have that for everyone. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. On Saturday, before I went back to the Fair and Rodeo, and thanks again to the Rodeo Board and the Fair Board for all their tireless work and all the volunteers. I went up to the Big Thompson Canyon Association open house. I didn't get up to the memorial because it was pretty much almost during the ribbon cutting for the ranch event lawn, and talked to a lot of folks at that. They had an open house and lots of pictures, and all of them came up and commented how they were just blown away and so touched and so pleased with the event the day before, organized by Lori Hodges and all the other folks. And they wanted to just express how much it felt so respectful and so meaningful and impactful, and they just had nothing but raving things to say. And I appreciate that, because those are the folks who lost property, were touched by this, and their families were maybe they had lost someone or not. We didn't talk about that, but they just said they felt heard and seen and felt it was really well done. And I wanted to make sure Lori Hodges and her team got some really big kudos publicly, because that took a lot of organization, and to get all those stories correct and tell the stories of the first responders was really impactful. It's been a great Fair and Rodeo. The fair team, the pancake breakfast was another record breaker, and thanks to the Jay Krause from the Fair Board and all the Fair Board volunteers and the Fair Board, they just worked so hard for that pancake breakfast. I think Jay told me it was well over 2,000 plates that were served, so that means 2,000 breakfasts. And so when you run out of food well before the 9 a.m. hour, like every 35 minutes, I think I timed it this time. It's a testament to everyone enjoying that. And also, again, the new location, and thanks to all of the electeds who came to volunteer and serve pancakes, but and the Lions Club, who just work so hard turning out obviously thousands of pancakes. We appreciate their partnership, and I want to make sure they get some credit, because they come every year and do a fantastic job. And then we have last night of the rodeo. The first 2 nights we've sold out. It was great to honor some folks on our DNR, folks who rescued a woman from drowning last year. We've had just a fantastic veteran who was honored, who was actually a Loveland firefighter, battalion lieutenant, I believe, and he also had served in the military. He still served in the military, and it was great to honor him as well, and including our DNR folks. And it was a fantastic first night. And huge. I think it sold out again last night. It was a great turnout for 4-H night. We were able to honor Irene Josie, our clerk and recorder, who has been with Larimer County for 41 years, including 12 as clerk and recorder. And the rodeo board is doing a great job managing all those timing and all those special timing things and all these special acts. But I wanted to share tonight is our last night as we add and crown the new queen, and say goodbye and thank Addie for all of her work and her job and wonderful reign. But tonight there are 4 world champion cowboys coming for the rodeo, current world champions, and it's going to be a huge night. It's going to be a fantastic rodeo, and I'm so excited to share with everyone. I hope you'll come out and come see the Fair and Rodeo one more night, and all the 4-H folks and families and participants and volunteers. Everyone coming together. There's not every single person. We could not do this without all of you. And yeah, the heat has been a challenge. It's going to be a nice, comfortable day today. But I want to thank Director Connor McGrath and his team. They have had to make some hard decisions, but they do it for the welfare of the animals, as well as the safety and welfare of our youth and our families in those barns and our public. And I want to just commend him and his team for doing what is right and doing the hard steps. And I want to say that publicly. We sometimes doesn't make everyone happy, but we have to do the right thing. And I want to thank him for his leadership and all the work that he does. So hope you come out tonight. It's going to be a great rodeo. And thanks again to everyone who does this. And we'll probably take maybe a month off, and it's back to planning the next one. This will be wonderful. So just wanted to say to everyone, thanks for joining us today. We're so pleased that you are. And at 10:35, we are adjourned.